Alrighty. I apologize for my crappy video. I'm doing a quick video where, oh my god, my video looks horrible. Well, anyway, I look like a freaking nature. Let's see if we can get rid of that a little bit there. This is a really, really quick response to your question. No, I am not a nuclear professional. I am a computer scientist. I'm an amateur physicist, although I am going to be going and getting my master's degree in physics pretty soon, but I am an amateur physicist. I am not a professional. So take this with a grain of salt if you like. But you are absolutely correct. What you surmise is 100% correct. The hydrogen cannot build up if it does not or initially get formed by the melting of the cladding that is around the uranium fuel. The uranium fuel does not melt unless it gets hot enough. And it does not get hot enough if things are working correctly. When the water levels dropped below what they should have been, and if you look at the TEPCO reports, which if you go to my videos and look at some of the early ones that I had out there during the incident, you'll see I actually list the addresses to go and look at the actual TEPCO reports. You can go look at them yourself. They say the water levels dropped, and they say how low they dropped, and the fuel rods were exposed. They're pretty sure of it based on the readings they were getting at. What was it? I think it was 800 kilopascals. It's just a tremendous amount of pressure. This isn't a pressurized reactor. This is a boiling water reactor, so you know the fuel rods must have been exposed with that kind of pressure, meaning that low of water at the time. So when the fuel rods got hot, they produced the hydrogen from the zirconium enriched cladding. It's not cesium around them, by the way. It's some element of zircon. I mean, you can make zircon. What is it? Zircon dioxide, I believe. There's several types you can use. But anyway, the point is you take water, you extract the oxygen atom from it, bond it to the uranium, or bond it to the zirconium, or bond it to plutonium. Actually, all three of those will pick it up nicely. And you release hydrogen. Hydrogen builds up, and then of course the heat sets it off. It's no big deal. When it was exposed to the air from the outside, that's probably what caused the explosion. The hydrogen migrated out of the reactor most likely through the water that goes through the actual reactor itself. That's probably why the suppression chamber blew up on reactor. What was it? Reactor 2, I think it was reactor 2 whose suppression chamber blew up. But the reason it blew up is probably because it picked up hydrogen inside of it and then the heat set it off. But you're absolutely correct. And I don't think at this point anybody is saying that there wasn't a meltdown. In fact, all the reports I've read from worldnuclearnews.org and from TEPCO's own site all either say or suggest that there's a meltdown. You wouldn't be getting radiation levels as high as we're seeing today. They claimed yesterday that they hit a full sievert. Then they argued as to whether that was 10 million or 10,000 or 100,000, and that depends on what you use as a baseline for your for what you consider normal radiation. One sievert is almost exactly 10 million times the radiation level of my master bedroom, for example, which is at 0.1 microsievert per hour, generally speaking. You don't get a full sievert of radiation without melted down fuel rods. You just don't, because there's not the byproducts that come out are just they're inside the fuel rods. They don't get out unless they're melted. That's one of the reasons you cover them up and surround them inside of there, because you don't want all that stuff to get out and float around in the water that surrounds the actual fuel rods while the reactor's running, or else it would be a tremendous nightmare to try to get the fuel rods out in a normal fuel exchange, because they do that all the time. Well, not all the time. They do actually. Sometimes every year, sometimes every couple of years. Well, it depends on the reactor. I know military ones can go as long as 12 years without actually being recharged, refueled rather. But the point is, yes, that happened. I absolutely guarantee it happened.